Right, now I want to help you with task 3.30 because some of these entries can get a bit confusing. But before we look at it, we need to understand how the creditors recon works and who the respective people are. Now you are a business and you are buying goods from a supplier who's your creditor. So you're buying from the supplier. On the other hand, the supplier will also be keeping a record. But from his point of view, he's selling to us. And so therefore, we become a debtor to us. So what we owe, our liability, from the supplier's point of view, becomes an asset because he's going to collect that money from us. Our records over here are also very importantly kept in a ledger. That's the records we've got. And from outside, we will receive a statement every month. All right, now let's take a look at the information we're given. And the first thing you need to do is make sure that you know who you are, you being the business, because it's the business that is doing the reconciliation process. Now, the way to identify that is to look at the ledger. This is a ledger of Village Mall retailers. So you are Village Mall. You are buying on credit from Umgeni Shoes. So that's why you've got a creditor's ledger and you owe Umgeni Shoes. So this is you. The statement, on the other hand, is coming from outside. Just like the bank, they would send a statement to you. And this is Umgeni Shoes. So we are Village Mall and we're buying from Umgeni Shoes. Now the first thing, if we have a look here, you'll see that on the statement, they started with 17,400 and they ended with 20,540. On the other hand, our creditors ledger started with 7,400, so there's a difference there already. And we're ending with 26,030. Now these two over here should be agreeing. And if they're not, we've got to reconcile. So we've got to account for that difference. Now the first thing obviously is there's a problem right at the beginning. Now if you look at your information, and the first thing they tell you, Village Mall retailers, that's us, remember, sent a check for 10,000 on the 28th of July. But we're working for August, so that was last month, which was only received and banked on the 3rd. So you sent this check in July. You would have made the entry in July in your cash payments journal, and you would have entered it into the creditor's account then. So you've already done that. But Umgeni Shoes, on the other hand, hadn't received it. They only received it in August. And that is accounting for why there's this 10,000 between these. And if you look here, you'll see that on the 3rd, there's the 10,000. So that 17,400 minus the 10 would equal our 7,400. So we won't make another entry for it. We did it last month. Right, looking at number 2 though, Village Mall retailers, that's us, were not aware that Umgeni granted us a discount on this payment at the end of July. So if you look here, now on the 3rd, when they entered this, they gave me a discount of 500. Now remember, a discount, they would have minused it off your account. If you look here, there's no entry for 500 because you weren't aware that you were getting discount. So we're going to have to minus 500 off this amount here because we received a discount. Just quickly remember, this is a creditor's account. So the credit side would be a plus and the debit side would be a minus. So if you're minusing 500, you effectively are debiting the entry. And that then has taken care of that 500. Right, number 3 says Umgeni Shoes. That's our creditor. They're the outside people. Made an error regarding the return of goods on the 5th. All right. we would have returned goods on the 5th, and we would have issued a debit note. Debit note because we're debiting the account. We're minusing off. I'm gaining shoes on the 5th though. When they receive it, they will issue us a credit note because they're going to credit our account. All right? They're going to minus it off our account. However, they did 730, we did 370. And they told you that Umgeni Shoes made the mistake. So while they have minus 730, they've actually minus too much. And so you're going to have to add on the difference. So you're going to have to add on 360 because remember they minus too much. Now you can't go to Umgeni Shoes and demand that they make these changes. So just like we did when we did bank recon, we are going to draw up a reconciliation statement of this. In other words, we're going to say, yes, they say I owe 20,540, but we need to reconcile. We need to be able to account for why this is different. So we would have to add on 360 there. Right, on number 4, Village Mall, that's us, made an error regarding the discount on the 12th. So again, identified first. On the 12th, we paid 22,000, which we would have minused, and we minus 2,200. If we go up here, though, we will see that they gave us a receipt for the 22,000, and they only gave us a discount of 1,100. And they said to you, Village Mall, that's us. We made a mistake. And remember, we would have minus 2,200. So now you're going to have to plus 1,100 onto this account because you minused too much. You'll have to go into the credit column. In respect of invoice 458, Umgeni Shoes are correct. Right, in our book, here's invoice 458, and we've added on 13,100. According to their statement, invoice 458, they added on 11,300, and they're telling you that this is the correct amount. So we have actually added on too much. So we're going to have to minus now the difference. And so in our ledger account, that's where the mistake is, we will minus 1,800. Or if you're doing it as a full ledger, you would have to debit the account. Then Village Mall retailers, that's us, did not order the goods shown on invoice 477. Now if you go back here, there's no invoice 477 in our books. But on the statement, they have added on 2560. And they're telling you that this is not our goods. So we are not going to pay for goods we didn't buy. So they would have added on, because of an invoice, so you're going to have to minus 2560 in the recon. And then lastly, invoices, covered goods at Village Mall, that's us, bought from another business together. Now again, if you look here, that invoice is in our books. We have added on 9,800 onto Umgeni Shoes. We said we owe them. But actually, it's not Umgeni Shoes, it's somebody else. So this is wrong. So because we originally plussed it, we're going to have to minus or debit 9,800. Right, before you finish now, that is the additional information. If you were going through all of these things, you would have found that everything else has been accounted for, except for, first of all, these delivery charges. Now this is on the statement. They have charged me delivery. I haven't made the entry, so I'm going to have to add on into my account that 410. All right, so you're adding on the 410 that they charged you. And then lastly, this statement was dated the 25th of August. So the business is closed up on the 25th, and the balance is up to the 25th. However, if we look in our account, we will see that on the 26th, which is after the statement, we added on an invoice, we minus the check, and we minus the discount. Now we've made these 3 entries, but again he hasn't, because they closed it off. So we are now going to have to put those 3 amounts there into your recon, and they will become your outstanding invoice, which you would add on because you owe money, your outstanding check, which you'll have to minus because you pay, and if you get a discount, you will also minus because you're getting a reduction. Right, now hopefully after all of that, your final balances should agree. Please go on now and try and do the task, and check with your teacher regarding the setting out, that you do know how to set out the recon statement and you do know how to adjust your ledger account.